Go to you bosom, knock there, and ask your heart what it doth know. As soon go kindle fire with snow, as seek to quench the fire of love with words. This above all, to thine own self be true. I will praise any man that will praise me. My pride fell with my fortunes. Some Cupid kills with arrows, some with traps. With mirth and laughter let old wrinkles come. I may neither choose who I would, nor refuse who I dislike, so is the will of a living daughter curbed by the will of a dead father. Better 3 hours too soon than a minute too late. Look like the innocent flower, but be the serpent under it. Sweet are the uses of adversity which, like the toad, ugly and venomous, wears yet a precious jewel in his head. I dote on his very absence. We are time's subjects, and time bids be gone. The most peaceable way for you, if you do take a thief, is to let him show himself what he is and steal out of your company. But oh, how bitter a thing it is to look into happiness through another man's eyes. The empty vessel makes the loudest sound. The undiscovered country from whose bourne no traveler returns. Love is a smoke made with the fume of sighs. But men are men, the best sometimes forget. Love is heavy and light, bright and dark, hot and cold, sick and healthy, asleep and awake. It's everything except what it is. The attempt and not the deed confounds us. There is a tide in the affairs of men, which taken at the flood, leads on to fortune. Omitted, all the voyage of their life is bound in shallows and in miseries. On such a full sea are we now afloat. And we must take the current when it serves, or lose our ventures. Such as we are made of, such we be. Poor in content is rich, and rich enough. Madness in great ones must not unwatched go. Is it not strange that desire should so many years outlive performance? O thou invisible spirit of wine, if thou hast no name to be known by, let us call thee devil. Farewell, fair cruelty. Do you bite your thumb at us, sir? Give thy thoughts no tongue. Well, if fortune be a woman, she's a good wench for this gear. The stroke of death is as a lover's pinch, which hurts and is desired. Exceeds man's might, that dwells with the gods above. Our doubts are traitors, and make us lose the good we oft might win, by fearing to attempt. Women may fall when there's no strength in men. Cowards die many times before their deaths, the valiant never taste of death but once. Men's vows are women's traitors. It is the stars above us, govern our conditions. My words fly up, my thoughts remain below, words without thoughts never to heaven go. If we are marked to die, we are enough to do our country loss, and if to live, the fewer men, the greater share of honor. I wasted time, and now doth time waste me. There's place and means for every man alive. Wisely, and slow. They stumble that run fast. Truly, I would not hang a dog by my will, much more a man who hath any honesty in him. I see that the fashion wears out more apparel than the man. I bear a charmed life. Lord Polonius, what do you read, my lord? Hamlet, words, words, words. Lord Polonius, what is the matter, my lord? Hamlet, between who? Lord Polonius, I mean, the matter that you read, my lord. 'Tis one thing to be tempted, another thing to fall. Hell is empty and all the devils are here. Give sorrow words, the grief that does not speak knits up the o'erwrought heart and bids it break. I say there is no darkness but ignorance. Things one are done, joy's soul lies in the doing. So wise, so young, they say, do never live long. Oh, beware, my lord, of jealousy, it is the greeny-eyed monster, which doth mock the meat it feeds on. My bounty is as boundless as the sea, my love is deep, the more I give to thee, the more I have, for both are infinite. There's many a man has more hair than wit. When sorrows come, they come not single spies, but in battalions. A peace is of the nature of a conquest, for then both parties nobly are subdued, and neither party loser. My crown is called content, a crown that seldom kings enjoy. Talking isn't doing. It is a kind of good deed to say well, and yet words are not deeds. No legacy is so rich as honesty. The course of true love never did run smooth. Come, gentlemen, I hope we shall drink down all unkindness. If you have tears, prepare to shed them now. Modest doubt is called the beacon of the wise. Things done well and with a care exempt themselves from fear. Who could refrain, that had a heart to love, and in that heart courage to make love known? And oftentimes excusing of a fault doth make the fault the worse by the excuse. Expectation is the root of all heartache. Pleasure and action make the hours seem short. Fishes live in the sea, as men do a land, the great ones eat up the little ones. To weep is to make less the depth of grief. By that sin fell the angels. Listen to many, speak to a few. Let every eye negotiate for itself and trust no agent. Love all, trust a few, do wrong to none. Sigh no more, ladies, sigh no more, men were deceivers ever, 1 foot in sea and 1 on shore, to one thing constant never. There are many events in the womb of time, which will be delivered. Oh! Let me not be mad, not mad, sweet heaven, keep me in temper, I would not be mad. What, man, defy the devil. Consider, he's an enemy to mankind. He that loves to be flattered is worthy o' the flatterer. Now cracks a noble heart. Good night, sweet prince, and flights of angels sing thee to thy rest. 'Tis best to weigh the enemy more mighty than he seems. How poor are they that have not patience! What wound did ever heal but by degrees? Love is not love that alters when it alteration finds. There was never yet fair woman but she made mouths in a glass. If love be rough with you, be rough with love. Prick love for pricking and you beat love down. Conscience doth make cowards of us all. Children wish fathers looked but with their eyes, fathers that children with their judgment looked, and either may be wrong. The wheel is come full circle. This above all, to thine own self be true, and it must follow, as the night the day, thou canst not then be false to any man. Though she beat but little, she is fierce. My soul is in the sky. Be great in act, as you have been in thought. If to do were as easy as to know what were good to do, chapels had been churches, and poor men's cottage princes' palaces. How well he's read, to reason against reading. To do a great right, do a little wrong. 'Tis not enough to help the feeble up, but to support them after. We know what we are, but not what we may be. Men at some time are masters of their fates. The fault, dear Brutus, is not in our stars, but in ourselves, that we are underlings. Now is the winter of our discontent. What's done cannot be undone. The fool doth think he is wise, but the wise man knows himself to be a fool. Sweet mercy is nobility's true badge. Faith, There hath been many great men that have flattered the people who ne'er loved them. I like not fair terms in a villain's mind. The man that hath no music in himself, nor is not moved with concord of sweet sounds, is fit for treasons, stratagems, and spoils. As he was valiant, I honor him. But as he was ambitious, I slew him. Oh, what a goodly outside falsehood hath! All's well that ends well. How sharper than a serpent's tooth it is to have a thankless child. Now, God be praised, that to believing souls gives light in darkness, comfort in despair. He is winding the watch of his wit, by and by it will strike. If you prick us, do we not bleed? If you tickle us, do we not laugh? If you poison us, do we not die? And if you wrong us, shall we not revenge? The valiant never taste of death but once. If music be the food of love, play on, give me excess of it, that surfeiting, the appetite may sicken, and so die. My only love sprung from my only hate. Too early seen unknown, and known too late. Prodigious birth of love it is to me, that I must love a loathed enemy. Use every man after his desert, and who should scape whipping? Did my heart love till now? Forswear it, sight. For I ne'er saw true beauty till this night. He does it with better grace, but I do it more natural. Presume not that I am the thing I was. Do you not know I am a woman? When I think, I must speak. I must be cruel, only to be kind. And this, our life, exempt from public haunt, finds tongues in trees, books in the running brooks, sermons in stones, and good in everything. For I can raise no money by vile means. It is a wise father that knows his own child. Virtue is bold, and goodness never fearful. Our peace shall stand as firm as rocky mountains. There's no art to find the mind's construction in the face. Lord, Lord, how subject we old men are to this vice of lying. Oh, what may man within him hide, though angel on the outward side? To be, or not to be, that is the question. Oh, teach me how I should forget to think. Who could refrain that had a heart to love and in that heart courage to make love known? Alas, I am a woman friendless, hopeless. How oft the sight of means to do ill deeds makes ill deeds done. All that glisters is not gold, often have you heard that told, many a man his life hath sold, but my outside to behold, gilded tombs do worms enfold. The love of heaven makes one heavenly. Virtue itself scapes not calumnious strokes. But if it be a sin to covet honor, I am the most offending soul alive. What is past is prologue. All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts, his acts being 7 ages. The devil can cite scripture for his purpose. Thou knowest the first time that we smell the air we wail and cry. When we are born we cry, that we are come to this great state of fools. God hath given you one face, and you make yourself another. I never see thy face, but I think upon hellfire. In a false quarrel there is no true valor. Love looks not with the eyes, but with the mind, and therefore is winged Cupid painted blind. No, I will be the pattern of all patience, I will say nothing. Life every man holds dear, but the dear man holds honor far more precious dear than life. There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in your philosophy. Wisely and slow, they stumble that run fast. For my part, it was Greek to me. Fortune brings in some boats that are not steered. A fool thinks himself to be wise, but a wise man knows himself to be a fool. This above all, to thine own self be true. Heat not a furnace for your foe so hot that it do singe yourself. Death is a fearful thing. Love sought is good, but given unsought is better. Words, words, mere words, no matter from the heart. Reputation is an idle and most false imposition, oft got without merit, and lost without deserving. Doubt thou the stars are fire, doubt that the sun doth move, doubt truth to be a liar, but never doubt I love. Life is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Where every something, being bled together turns to a wild of nothing. Suit the action to the word to the action. How far that little candle throws his beams, so shines a good deed in a weary world. If it be a sin to covet honor, I am the most offending soul. My tongue will tell the anger of my heart, or else my heart concealing it will break. You speak an infinite deal of nothing. In time we hate that which we often fear. To die, to sleep, perchance to dream, aye, there's the rub, for in this sleep of death what dreams may come. I would challenge you to a battle of wits, but I see you are unarmed. So foul and fair a day I have not seen. Parting is such sweet sorrow that I shall say good night till it be morrow. Many a good hanging prevents a bad marriage. Mind your speech a little lest you should mar your fortunes. Nature hath framed strange fellows in her time. I was adored once too. Lord, what fools these mortals be! And why not death rather than living torment? To die is to be banished from myself, and Sylvia is myself, banished from her is self from self, a deadly banishment. It is not in the stars to hold our destiny but in ourselves. Some rise by sin, and some by virtue fall. False face must hide what the false heart doth know. Good night, good night. Parting is such sweet sorrow, that I shall say good night till it be morrow. Speak low, if you speak love. Ignorance is the curse of God, knowledge is the wing wherewith we fly to heaven. What's in a name? That which we call a rose by any other name would smell as sweet. Be not afraid of greatness. Some are born great, some achieve greatness, and others have greatness thrust upon them. They do not love that do not show their love. Time and the hour run through the roughest day. They say miracles are past. 'Tis better to bear the ills we have than fly to others that we know not of. What a piece of work is a man, how noble in reason, how infinite in faculties, in form and moving how express and admirable, in action how like an angel, in apprehension how like a god. By the pricking of my thumbs, something wicked this way comes. I had rather hear my dog bark at a crow than a man swear he loves me. Stars, hide your fires, let not light see my black and deep desires. Men shut their doors against a setting sun. I shall the effect of this good lesson keeps as watchman to my heart. When words are scarce they are seldom spent in vain. Teach not thy lips such scorn, for it was made for kissing, lady, not for such contempt. When we are born we cry that we are come to this great stage of fools. The first thing we do, let's kill all the lawyers. The rob that smiles, steals something from the thief. Life is as tedious as twice-told tale, vexing the dull ear of a drowsy man. Like as the waves make towards the pebbled shore, so do our minutes, hasten to their end. There is nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. Though this be madness, yet there is method in't. And yet, to say the truth, reason and love keep little company together nowadays. I were better to be eaten to death with a rust than to be scoured to nothing with perpetual motion. A man loves the meat in his youth that he cannot endure in his age. Nothing can come of nothing. What's done can't be undone. The evil that men do lives after them, the good is often interred with their bones. For never was a story of more woe than this of Juliet and her Romeo. Let me be that I am, and seek not to alter me. The lady doth protest too much, methinks. There's not a note of mine that's worth the noting. The lunatic, the lover, and the poet are of imagination all compact. The fault, dear Brutus, is not in our stars, but in ourselves. One may smile, and be a villain. Men are April when they woo, December when they wed. Maids are May when they are maids, but the sky changes when they are wives. The breaking of so great a thing should make a greater crack. The round world should have shook lions into civil streets, and citizens to their dens. Give every man thy ear, but few thy voice. Let no such man be trusted. I had rather have a fool to make me merry than experience to make me sad, and to travel for it too. Lawless are they that make their wills their law. Don't waste your love on somebody who doesn't value it. We cannot conceive of matter being formed of nothing, since things require a seed to start from. Therefore there is not anything which returns to nothing, but all things return dissolved into their elements. See how she leans her cheek upon her hand. Oh, that I were a glove upon that hand, that I might touch that cheek. The fashion of the world is to avoid cost, and you encounter it. I hold the world but as the world, Gratiano, a stage where every man must play a part, and mine is a sad one. Words are easy, like the wind, faithful friends are hard to find. Most dangerous is that temptation that doth goad us on to sin and loving virtue. It will have blood, they say, blood will have blood. An overflow of good converts to bad. Sweets to the sweet. Love is too young to know what conscience is. These violent delights have violent ends, and in their triumph die, like fire and powder which, as they kiss, consume. Desire of having is the sin of covetousness. I do love nothing in the world so well as you, is not that strange. I give unto my wife my second best bed with the furniture. O God, how weary, stale, flat, and unprofitable seem to me all the uses of this world. There have been many great men that have flattered the people who ne'er loved them. Oh, had I but followed the arts! God has given you one face, and you make yourself another. But, soft! What light through yonder window breaks? It is the east, and Juliet is the sun. Maids want nothing but husbands, and when they have them, they want everything. Boldness be my friend. The very substance of the ambitious is merely the shadow of a dream. I like this place and could willingly waste my time in it. I can seize not in your good books, said the messenger. No, and if you were I would burn my library. Neither a borrower nor a lender be. Our doubts are traitors and make us lose the good we oft might win by fearing to attempt. We are such stuff as dreams are made on, and our little life is rounded with a sleep. Dispute not with her, she is lunatic. Ambition should be made of sterner stuff. Having nothing, nothing can he lose. Double, toil and trouble, fire burn, and cauldron bubble. What's past is prologue. Some are born great, others achieve greatness. He that is giddy thinks the world turns round. Why, man, he doth bestride the narrow world like a colossus, and we petty men walk under his huge legs, and peep about to find ourselves dishonorable graves. There is no darkness but ignorance. Better a witty fool than a foolish wit. Do not swear by the moon, for she changes constantly. Then your love would also change. Suspicion always haunts the guilty mind. If you can look into the seeds of time, and say which grain will grow and which will not, speak then unto me. When he shall die, take him and cut him out in little stars, and he will make the face of heaven so fine that all the world will be in love with night and pay no worship to the garish sun. Praise us as we are tasted, allow us as we prove. Oh, for a muse of fire, that would ascend the brightest heaven of invention. This life, which had been the tomb of his virtue and of his honor, is but a walking shadow, a poor player, that struts and frets his hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Thus with a kiss I die. He that hath a beard is more than a youth, and he that hath no beard is less than a man. He that is more than a youth is not for me, and he that is less than a man, I am not for him. I am not bound to please thee with my answers. Give me my robe, put on my crown, I have immortal longings in me. Let me embrace thee, sour adversity, for wise men say it is the wisest course. Uneasy lies the head that wears a crown. When a father gives to his son, both laugh. When a son gives to his father, both cry.